bare bones bookkeeping. What is the absolute minimum you need to do all year long? Hi, my name is Tony Cameron with TLDR Accounting. We're a strategic tax and accounting firm that works with small business owners and therapists in private practice to solve their tax and accounting issues. So, common question I get: what is the absolute minimum I need to do to keep my bookkeeping current and ready to go for tax time? All right. Step one is something we've talked about before: keeping your business and your personal separate from each other. Your business income and expenses should be coming through a business credit card or bank account. Personal should stay personal. Now, if say you have a trip coming up and you want to buy your airline ticket with a personal credit card because of miles or points or whatever, that's fine, but it should be the exception and not the norm. We can correct for one or two things like that, but if you're using your personal credit card for 50% business and 50% personal, that doesn't work. You need to keep your business expenses and income separate from your personal expenses and income. It's the biggest thing we see people mess up, so don't do it. In the beginning, before you have bank accounts set up, that's a thing, but you do need to keep them separate. Now, if you're an LLC, it is required for you to keep them separate. Your business has to be its own thing, its own entity. You have to have business bank account set up in its EIN number that has to be under the business name. That is just one of the requirements to operating an LLC. Step two is recording all of your income and expenses. So if you have a business bank account and you're using it, like step one dictates, then pulling your income and expenses for the month is super easy because everything's in your bank statement, right? Or your credit card statement. All the information is there. Now, there's software that does make this easier, like QuickBooks Online, but you could just be using an Excel sheet to keep track of all your income and expense items. So you want to make sure that you're recording all of it monthly. Yes, monthly. Now, a lot of times folks are like, oh, I only do it once a quarter. Well, how are you operating your business on data from once a quarter? If you're small and it's just you, you can maybe get away with it. But as soon as you start growing, you're going to need real-time information. And so monthly is important. So step two is record your income and expenses monthly. Now, step three is making sure everything ties back to your bank statements and your credit card statements. So if you're using Excel, that means going line by line, making sure that you recorded them. This could be how you record it in the first place in Excel, and it could be combined with step two. But if you're using an accounting software, what this is called reconciling your bank accounts, and it is a separate step within the software that you need to do. And what it's doing is making sure that all of your transactions for the month that were in your bank statement and your credit card are in fact in your books, and your bank balance and your credit card balance tie back to your bank statements. 3 steps, absolute minimum you need to do: keep business and personal separate, record all your income and expense items, and make sure everything ties back to your bank statements. Now, that should be enough to get by on. One of the things to use, if you don't know where something goes, you should still record it. You should just put it in Ask My Accountant. It's a lot easier at your end for us to go through Ask My Accountant and figure out what needs to be corrected there instead of going back in your books and seeing if anything's missing. So if you have any questions on a transaction, Ask My Accountant. Makes it super easy to fix it. Now, if that all sounds like a lot of work, it might be time for you to outsource your bookkeeping, and the link to contact us is below.